On today's show, a story about a native Minnesota game bird that seems to fly under the radar. But fly it does. All about Minnesota's sharp-tailed grouse. Most anglers know the toughest fish to catch in Minnesota is the muskie. Will a float down the Mississippi River change that tough luck? We'll find out.
We have some oatmeal here.
And later, Laura Shera has the scoop on a doggy treat called Power Bark.
Look at that.
Who barks and who has the power? Our Minnesota-bound classic this week revisits one of nature's greatest spectacles, the magic of migration. Oh, the wonder of it all. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show. You know, in Minnesota, if you're a game bird hunter, you tend to read mostly about pheasants. But there are two game birds in Minnesota, natives, that don't make many headlines, the sharp-tailed grouse and the prairie chicken. Both of them fine game birds. We're going to check out one of them, the sharp-tails. Travis Frank has the story.
The day settlers first arrived in Minnesota, they found grassland rolling as far as the eye could see. They also witnessed sharp-tailed grouse soaring over the native prairie. Today our landscape looks much different, unless you go to the far northwest corner of Minnesota. It's here that sharp-tailed grouse still soar through a prairie sky. Matt Brewer calls this turf home, spending each fall steps behind his bird dogs Gage and Benelli.
Someone asked me once what my favorite sound was, and I had to think about it for a while, and then I realized that it's the chuckling of a sharp-tailed grouse.
To our right, Bob St. Pierre walks with equal anticipation of a flush.
Bird! Nice shot, Trav. Nice flush, Matt.
Esky, Bob's bird dog, is just as excited as I am.
Oh no!
The sharp-tail numbers, dating way back, they were the most abundant bird native to Minnesota. And the numbers had dwindled and dwindled and dwindled as farming became popular and settlers started to tear down habitat. When CRP came back, the birds really started to make a comeback, and they got so high that the population no longer needed any help or any controlling in this area.
One after another, grouse fill the sky, and yet Matt has saved his best spot for last.
He was telling us about this particular piece. He's hunted his whole life. It's got willows at the center, it's got grass around the edges. It is the mecca for these sharp-tails here in northwest Minnesota.
But our excitement turns to heartbreak.
When we pull up, he just has this look on his face, like, just devastated. It's burned. It's black. Bushes have been pushed up.
To see ash and scorched ground and willows all tumbled over, it was really heartbreaking.
There's a bulldozer sitting on the edge of this section, and it's obvious what's going to happen. This is CRP that has expired, and the habitat is on its way out. We thought, you know, Matt's hunted this his whole life. We've got to give it. We've got to give it. We owe it to Matt to walk this field one last chance.
With heavy hearts, we step foot in what remains of Matt's lifelong honey hole, perhaps for the very last time.
Man, this just doesn't feel right, does it?
No. I feel like I'm marching to my death.
Yet, we want to take one more memory before it's all done.
But we walk over this little hill, and you can see there's a different colored grass, and it's a little bit thicker. And Matt just has this look in his eyes like something good's gonna happen here. Still going. still some birds here. There's another one.
Get him, Trav. Nice shot.
Got him. Nice shooting, boys. I'm kind of speechless right now. I mean, that's a good flush. That was a really good flush.
Yeah, it was a really special moment to me, and I know that's the last time I'll probably ever get to shoot a sharptail out of that field.
Our hunt ends just as the bulldozer's work begins.
It's so bittersweet. You know, it's the absolute perfect scenario for the hunt, but it's the last hunt, and that's what we're fighting.
Fighting for grassland and the wildlife that call this habitat home.
Prairie grass is good for more than just sharptail. It's good for everything.
When we return, we'll try to float the Mississippi River to catch a muskie. It ain't easy, but muskie fishing never is.
Now I'm addicted.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers. Ellsworth Creamery, Rapala Ice Force, and by Borderview Lodge.
Welcome back. One of the most elusive fish in Minnesota, as everybody knows, I think, the muskie. Well, some people pursue it no matter what, including the subject of our next story, who floats the mighty Mississippi. Travis Frank floated along.
Catching a trophy muskie requires dedication, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck. Catching one on the fly takes all of that to a whole new level.
So it's just,
This is like a dance move out here.
you're like this.
Right. There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
Okay.
And as you strip, boom, you know, pinch down, boom, hit them again.
As fly fishing goes, this is pretty heavy duty stuff.
For Minnesota muskie guide Kip Veith,
A lot of flash, a lot of kick.
catching a muskie on the fly is the pinnacle of all freshwater pursuits.
I'm determined today, I just want you to know.
Yeah, I can sense that.
These flies are heavy, and the wind is strong.
So you want to try to, like right there, now go forward.
If I can master the cast, I have a chance.
Boom. That's all we need you to do.
But that is easier said than done.
And don't try to whip it like you would a bucktail, and let that line just go. There you go.
Let's go fishing.
Let's fish. It's pretty phenomenal. We're very, very blessed to have this resource in our backyard.
Near the outskirts of Brainerd, Minnesota, Kip works the Mississippi in places few can reach.
It's kind of a hidden treasure that we have. Everyone thinks about the lakes, 10,000 lakes, but there's some of the best river fishing in the country, if not the world.
His drift boat silently floats through waters shallow and wild.
Gosh, just to see one come up in this clear water, come up and eat. Muskies themselves are just tough to catch. And now you have to effectively get this big honking lure right in front of them, and it's not easy.
As October's cold air blows in, it gives muskies fair warning that winter is on its way, a sign for them to feed.
Come on, baby. Oh, there he is, He missed again. He missed it twice.
In a flash, a second fish chases.
Okay, let's back it up.
There he is, he's right up. He's on it. He's on it right now.
This adrenaline is the reason we've come.
Oh, man.
He wants to eat that thing, doesn't he?
Now my heart's pumping. That was cool, though. Now I'm addicted.
Oh, like you weren't before.
Why muskies?
The challenge, there's nothing else like it. Eat the fly. Eat the fly.
Oh, there's a fish right there, right here.
Same fish.
It came right behind it, just lightning fast.
It's very personal, I guess, is the way I'd kind of look at it. It's you and the fish.
Call it the fish of 10,000 casts. That's with conventional gear. What do they call it with a fly rod?
Insanity, I think. So when it does go right, it's like nirvana.
There he is. It's a northern. Oh, I get my heart going. We're looking for something looks similar with a whole lot bigger mouth.
Yeah, and we eat that for dinner.
Yeah, this will be bait. Northern on the fly. Thanks for the fun, bud. No skunk.
You know, you might go all day for that one fish.
Got him, got him, got him.
Again, the water erupts.
Is that a pike?
It is. Yeah,
That's a pretty decent pike.
it's not bad. That fly is just mangled. That thing came flying up. I'm working my way up. Again, it's not the muskie, but it's still, that was fun. Back in you go, bud. Ah, I thought that was a muskie. Got him, got him, got him, got him. Is it not meant to be?
To score a muskie on the fly means to accept that there will be days like this.
And that's musky fishing. I don't care what you're fishing with, how or where. It's a lot of work.
Final score, Travis and Kip 0, Muskies 1.
Coming up, it's a new doggy treat called Power Bark. We'll have a taste test.
Closed captioning from Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories.
If you're a dog, you know that doggy treats are very, very special, right? Well, there's a new one out called Power Bark. Laura Shera has the story.
Today we're getting creative in the kitchen for your canine, and I'm here with Leslie Fema, who is the owner of Power Bark meal replacement bars for your dog. And many times hunters are on the go and they want to refuel their dog in the field or before they go out hunting. So you've created kind of a meal in a bar to go.
Exactly. Just a convenient portable meal. You don't have to take kibble and put it in a bag, and hunters love it because it's just there and the dogs love it.
Perfect. And you started this recipe out with just things that are in your kitchen.
Exactly, exactly.
So what are some of our ingredients?
We have oatmeal, and we have mashed bananas, pumpkin, whole wheat flour, egg, molasses, honey, and oil.
Well, I'm thinking this sounds like something even the hunters themselves could eat, right?
Well, if they made this in their house, yes, they could.
Okay, so how do we start first? With the oatmeal?
I just mush it all together so you can just
Okay.
start dumping things in.
So we have some oatmeal here.
And then whole wheat flour. Mix that up, and then add the pumpkin.
Okay.
Pumpkin dogs love. Here's banana, and I mash it before I put it in there. Let's see, we have honey, and that makes it very sweet, and the dogs love that as well. And molasses. This is one of our main ingredients in the bar that I've created, and the dogs they smell that and they absolutely love it. And then just an egg.
And there's our protein source right there.
Exactly.
All right, so we just stir away. Now, I'm noticing this does not have any baking powder or baking soda,
No.
so you don't need any of that.
Nope.
Okay, so
then
this is ready to go?
Yep, and then I, sprayed a pan. I put it in the pan.
All right.
Even it out, so when it bakes, it's even.
All right, now for all those male hunters out there who don't think they can cook in the kitchen, I will say that this is a very easy recipe, so very doable for the non-chefs.
We want to bake it at 325, and it cooks for about 40 minutes, and then I turn the oven off and I open the door and just let it sit there for another half hour.
Okay, let's throw it in. We are now ready to take the doggy bars out of the oven. Ooh, aren't these cute? All right, so our bars are finished. Look at that.
And then, if you'd like to get creative, you can take the bone cookie cutter and make cute little bones.
Okay, so we have our official protein bar for your puppy, and since we're using ingredients directly from your kitchen, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and sample it. That's very good.
Right?
Banana, pumpkin, oats.
Can't go wrong.
Delicious.
No.
Now let's see if your little Power Bark ambassador likes it.
Katie!
Here's your protein bar. So not only is it doggy approved for your hunting pal, but really any canine on the go.
Our Minnesota Bound Classic this week explores one of nature's magic moments, the wonder of migration. Stay with us. Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Connecticut.
Totem Resorts, Maui Gym Sunglasses, and by Evinrude, the official outboard motor of Minnesota Bound.
Welcome back. You know, I was fishing the other day and a loon was near me, a baby loon. It reminded me the fact that the adult loons have already flown south, and here was this baby waiting to take its turn, wondering how does it find its way. We call that the magic of migration, and that's our story. Some go by land, others by sea, while those that can fly take to the air. Migrating wildlife. For 3,000 years, historians say, we have watched and wondered about this natural phenomenon called migration, and we still do.
I would describe a caribou as a northern legend because you see this kind of landscape, this kind of environment, and just the journey that they have to partake in order to survive.
These swans have had to discover their own migration routes because they did not originally have adults to follow. So they've been pioneering to wherever they can stay safe and alive through the winter.
Yet mysteries of migration continue. Who knows where to go? Who knows when to go? Who knows how to get there?
I like to be able to tag fish and see where they go.
Some of the questions, 3,000 years later, remain unanswered.
My personal belief is that there's been a lead cow, you know, someone in that matriarchal group that'll just keep moving, and then their calves follow, and all the bulls follow the cows west.
We do know sandhill cranes have followed Nebraska's Platte River for more than 3 million years. In truth, wildlife species that migrate do so to survive, but the trip itself can be full of danger.
Probably the most important thing to really realize is that their ability to survive all the elements and do it so gracefully. And this is a daily chore, whether it be ice, rain, snow.
When these Franklin gulls head south from Agassiz National Wildlife Refuge in northwest Minnesota, the journey ahead is, by any measure, remarkable.
Because they are the longest migrating gull in the world, they do migrate all the way down to the west coast of Chile, southwest coast of Chile, South America. So they have 3,000 miles to fly down that far before winter sets in.
Indeed, feats of migration are almost beyond our comprehension. Long ago, scientists guessed that tiny hummingbirds hitched a ride on the backs of geese to go south. Today we know some migrating birds like mallards may fly at altitudes of 20,000 feet or more, way above oxygen. On Africa's plains, herds of wildebeest and zebras may take 250-mile journeys twice a year. In the Arctic, caribou herds are known to walk 350 miles in 10 days. Even the monarch butterfly, so light and delicate, travels 2,000 miles in 60 days. And who would guess this small duck, the blue-winged teal, is capable of flying 3,800 miles in 1 month. From orca whales to king salmon, from bald eagles to backyard robins, from V-shaped goose flights to night-flying coots. These are among the wonders of migration, and wonders never cease. And the magic of migration continues on. I mean, all the mysteries. How do hummingbirds get so far? How do coot fly at night? I mean, it just goes on, right? Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Scher, and of course, always the star of the show is Raven. Oh yeah, you know it too.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For more information on these stories and more, Catch us on the web at mnbound.com. Share your stories on the Minnesota Bound Facebook page under the Share Your Story tab.